Right, guys, welcome back. This is the Above Average FPL podcast. My name is Adam, and as always, joined by Baker. How you doing, mate?
Happy New Year
Happy
again.
New Year to you, mate. Yes, what a start. But we're all good. We're all good. So we're going to go crack on from here. Yeah, it's been an interesting weekend. Lots of things happening.
Very interesting. Very interesting. I was we were texting because we both own the lovely troll that is known as Wilfred Zaha, and we were texting during the Leeds game, thinking if that's a draw, you never know, we might get a double with Man United and Palace.
Yeah,
Didn't think by the time we podded we'd have a double with Palace and Man United. It's yeah, we've got a big double game week from a maybe no double game week to we've not only got one, but we've got four teams. Two teams which most of us own quite a few players from,
yes,
and then Tottenham and Palace.
yeah, yeah. I mean, everyone was on the United boys for that fixture swing, and City, obviously. I mean, I think our expectations of City are higher than they've actually been outputting. I think that's obviously that's quite clear actually.
Yeah,
KDB nothing, Cancelo not even getting minutes, Foden wherever, and Haaland has blanked. So just 1 week of that feels like pain. But
yeah.
but
I mean,
yeah,
it's weird though, isn't it? Because Haaland, because it's basically if you didn't cap him, then you wanted him to. So it doesn't feel like It doesn't feel like he's blank, does he? Like we're about to now to go in and have a conversation in a minute about triple captain him,
yeah.
and we're not going to think about the fact that he's just blanked
No, not even considering.
because it was good for us.
Yes. Yeah.
And if
So
you don't triple captain him, you're going to want him to blank again twice.
yes, that's hard. Can you
God,
is it
twice.
three in a row?
I think he can blank 3 games in a row
I think that's impossible.
and no bonus 4 games in a row. Oh, God. Well, we'll get into that.
We'll get into that. Okay, so just to give a quick update on the league is now shut. So the league is now shut to entrance. We have 1,751 people joined our league. You can no longer join. So don't ask me for the code. I ain't giving it out. So Mark Bleakley is topping us there, 1,239 points at this point in the game week. Buried City. Rashford is captain this week. Very nice. I had him as the community choice captain for Greyhead's little captaincy thing that he does. So I was quite happy with that. And just quick one for the guys on audio. So Ole Knutson second, Robin Smith third, Matthew Thorpe fourth, Damien Duffy fifth, Rob Tizak sixth, Tom Appadale seventh, Akshay Akundi 8, David Hood 9, and Yap Willems 10. Well done to you guys. And the Above Average FPL podcast, YouTube, everything, all that stuff is supported by Crypto Block Dan. He's a good friend of ours. He's an acquisition analyst for a play to earn crypto company. If you have any questions about the blockchain, any questions about the use cases of crypto in the wider sense, in the broader sense, go drop him a follow. He also loves collecting trees and stuff like that on his new game. So if you have any interest in castaways, you can go and just drop him a follow, drop him a question. And then we've got the Discord. So we've had a Discord now for about 2 months, and it's Patreon exclusive. So join any of the tiers in Patreon, and you get instant access to our Discord for the month of January. That is up until the end of January from now. In fact, let's do it for a month from now. Do it for a month from now. So a month from today, if you join the Patreon, you'll get your first month back. That'll be immediately refunded as soon as you join. And then if you like it after a month, you can stay. If you don't like it after a month, you can leave. No hard feelings. And this content will always come out on a Sunday as well. So go to patreon.com/above average FPL if you are interested in that. Budget enabler, mid-priced asset, or premium, up to you. Cool.
I mentioned in the chat that I was maybe a little bit louder than you, but it might just be that I'm
you're just louder.
Just louder, maybe.
Just loud. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. So, do we want to start on what's been confirmed?
Yeah, let's do that.
Boom. So, as we said, what's confirmed is a City, United, Palace, and Tottenham double game week in 20. We've still got the City and Arsenal double game weeks in 23. And then we've also got confirmed as Forest, Newcastle, Chelsea, Everton, Villa, and Bournemouth all playing in 28, which is likely to be a blank of some kind.
Nice. Did Villa go out tonight?
Villa went out, yes. They lost
to Stevenage.
2-1 to Stevenage. They were 1-0 up after 88 minutes, and then conceded a penalty. Guy got sent off. Someone got sent off.
Incredible.
Yeah, and then they conceded in the last minute. Near post as well. Who's Olsen in goal, maybe? Don't know. Terrible.
Yeah, it's quite a few. It's quite a few already out in it. And I think that blank. So I think the early ones we know, blank game week 28. That's probably not going to be a free hit. Now, maybe we say that we can, which is nice. I don't like using it on blank game weeks. I prefer try and use it on a little double.
Yeah.
I'd much prefer that. Let's have some fun with it. Last few seasons, we've had to do it all on blanks, and it's like, ugh. So that could be cool. Double game week 23, Arsenal and City.
I feel a little exposed there with no Arsenal. Has to be said. Although saying that, I mean, I'm actually already in quite a good position for game week 20. So you know, hopefully it'll help.
The interesting ones when we get to like 23 is going to be on what you do about some of your defenders. So, you know, most of us have 1 or 2 Newcastle defenders by then, and they've got Bournemouth. So you're going to play them. So trying to get that Arsenal defender in might not be that easy. Because if most of us have got a City defender or will have a City defender, you know, or want one by then maybe. So trying to get Arsenal defence out might be difficult. Yeah, I think it'd be quite hard to maybe get 3 out for Arsenal in that one, but you're going to definitely want 5 out in double game week 23, aren't you, in doubles, if not 6?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
More than likely, which means I think if you haven't got 3 going into 20 on City, then that feels like a priority.
Yeah. So then we've got this one, which has got 4 teams doubling. What do we think in terms of numbers?
What, in terms of how many do we need?
Yeah.
So I think if we're going in with 3 City, then we're probably already on 1 or 2 United. Well, probably already on 2 United anyway. And then I don't think there's going to be people out there without a Palace or Tottenham. So there'll be people without Kane, and there'll be people without. Well, there's some might be on Doherty as well. But there'll be people with. People won't have Zaha. It's just us, mate. We're just pissing around with Zaha.
Yeah.
So you know, we're kind of.
You don't get the abuse that I get for Zaha. Like, I get abuse constantly, but I've never seen you get the abuse for Zaha that I get.
I never get any abuse, mate. To be honest, I don't get that much.
I feel like you get away with that, but you've got it too. But you've been smashing it the last few weeks, so probably people don't notice it.
Well, I mean, I get questions on stuff. I mean, like I think Lucy was in the chat earlier. She just said to me like after game week 17, she was like Matoma, and I just replied to her Matoma, and then off he went.
And off he went. So it's been going well. So let's go back to 20 then. So our friend of the pod, Harry, put a poll out earlier. Should we start on that as where he thinks people have gone? So he tweeted out how many double game week 2 players. I'm assuming we're typo here and everyone's voted on 20. Do you have before the transfers? And this was what time was this?
This was taken at the time we were supposed to go live the first time.
About 8:30. So
yes. So
there were 2,500 votes in it at the moment, and quarter of the people before transfers have 0 to 3.
I love that.
Quarter of them have 4. Quarter of them have 5. And it's a bit less than that. It's like 20% have 6 plus. I see you've ticked it at 6 plus. Yes. I technically also have 6 plus, but when one of them's Zaha and the other one's Cancelo, it doesn't quite feel right. I feel like I should technically be 5.
Fair enough.
But so we're in pretty good positions. I think it probably leads us straight away to hits and where we're at. Quite a lot of people rolled their second transfer. I think it was something like quarter of the Elite 1000 had rolled a transfer or something for this week. So there's going to be quite a few that do have the ability to roll and do that. But I think a lot of people that rolled had Salah.
Okay, yeah.
A significant amount of people that rolled had Salah.
Yeah.
Because the Elite Thousands mostly analytics guys, and 2/3 of the analytics guys have got Salah. So I don't suspect they're in that position. Like, you're in the mad position of having 6 with 2 free transfers.
And like KDB.
And KDB and Kane. All right. Yeah. So basically the best player in the game.
I have to take this win, mate. I've been ranked over 1 million for the whole season. I have to take this win.
Yeah. And that's the point, right? Although you're in a really good position type thing, I think people should take hits. I think they should just get hits done. This is an opportunity to say we've got 3 game weeks under our belt of seeing what's good. We know Man United's good. If you haven't got Shaw and Rashford, they're really, really good options post this game week. Not just this game week, they're really, really good options.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to go without Shaw and Rashford into this double game week.
I mean, they had 2 games which were just slightly off, didn't they? And then they were back into a half decent run of fixtures.
Just can't go without those 2 players for me.
Yeah.
Then you look at it and say, how comfortable are you with Harry Kane not having Harry Kane when you know he's over 50% owned, because he was about 40% owned going into this game week, and now he's got a double.
Correct.
So he's going to be about 50% owned. That's a chunky lot of pain to get into.
Yeah.
And KDB was 40% owned.
40%, yep, top 100k.
That's going to be near a 70. Because Salah's just the easy. Most people have Salah or KDB, so there's just the easy way.
I've got the ownerships. Hold on, let me pull up the ownerships while you're talking about them. So these are the key players, apart from perhaps John Stones, who will get thrown in thousands. But
Stones will mostly Stones will take Cancelo's ownership. So basically, just assume when we're looking at these ownerships, you should basically just pretend that Cancelo is Stones. And then people will either have Cancelo or they'll have Stones, or they'll flock to one of them. I mean, not many will flock to Cancelo, I think, right now.
Yeah.
But they'll go to a City defender, and then they could be Ederson as well. But Man City defence will still be, in one way or another, 100% owned come the start of this game week.
Yeah, I didn't even consider Ederson, to be honest. I actually avoided keepers here.
Yeah, he's about 20% owned as well. So
I don't want to touch anything on the computer, just in case.
No. That's absolutely right. Let's not do any amends whatsoever.
Yeah. So
game week 19, we've got Haaland 100% owned already, and that's just going to get worse.
Yep.
Because it was 198% owned, or whatever.
Yeah. Which is just monstrous. Even if like 30% of people captain him, he'll be 210.
Yeah. So Salah in game week 26 last season was 260% owned.
I don't think Haaland will top that.
You know, because he's higher owned as such. He's beating it every single week, better than everybody else.
Yeah, but that double game week for Salah last year had Norwich in it.
Norwich and Leeds, wasn't it?
It was Norwich and Leeds, exactly.
All right, fair enough. Yeah,
I think there'll be a few that will look at opportunities later on. Don't get me wrong. I mean, like as you say, he's blanked and now he's rested. So it would take a brave person not to triple Haaland, in truth. But
it takes a brave person to not triple own. And that's part of some of these other ones. When you look down the lists of these ones, it takes a really brave person to not own Kane and to not triple captain Haaland.
Yeah.
Because expected wise, let's just say Kane gets 15 points and Haaland gets 25 points. God, I'm already laughing because I can know Andy Martin's in the chat and he's
trying to work out the maths on it.
We can't work the maths out, but 40 points is a lot. Is a lot.
Yes, but if you didn't triple Haaland,
yeah,
you'd be down what?
13 points on basically 13 effective points, whatever.
Yeah, 13 effective points, and Kane would be another 7, so you'd be 20 points down.
20 points in a week, mate, is 20 points in a week it's big. It's a lot. It's a huge change. And that's I think as well, just thinking about the FOMO of where people are at, like 100k to 300k is where you'd go if you were in that rank. It would be where you'd go 500k to 1 million. So people that are 500k basically are going to go to 1 million.
Yeah, I haven't checked
Like
the.
that FOMO is just going to go mad this week. Like when people start realizing where they're at, like people are going to go big on it. Like I don't think you can cautiously. I thought last week you could cautiously get through without Mitrovic if you were that type of player, and 5 points wasn't a big deal really in the end. But I think -4s, -8s, if it gets you into the right space with Man City players, with Man United players, with Harry Kane, these all feel fantastic. No one's taking a hit to bring in Will Saha this week, surely.
No, definitely not. And
would I take a hit to get in a Tottenham defender this week?
no,
Not unless it got me the other ones.
yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, in isolation, no. Just because I
Mm.
don't see many cleans across the. I mean, maybe United versus Palace is obviously the standout, but I don't see a clear clean across the other fixtures.
Yeah.
I don't see a clean
Right.
in Tottenham Arsenal. I don't see it in City Tottenham either side.
No, I
Because
think you want to have at least one of your transfers this week in the attacking space.
both teams are gonna give an opportunity to Tottenham, in my opinion, that we don't have in a game against Villa or something like that.
Mm.
Because of the low block, basically, they're not teams that are going to sit back and mess around there.
Yeah, I mean, even looking at this chart here of players, would I bring in Martial this week? I'm not sure. I'm sure I would. Not with the. I know Wout Weghorst is Wout Weghorst, mate, and stuff, but just the rumours that they want a striker, like they're worried a bit about him, and he's always coming off early. And where we're seeing, some of the other players play really well. Garnacho, I thought was good again. Saw him play.
I think that the important thing as well is not, as you say, not a lot of people are going to flock to him, and 11% won't hurt. So
Yeah, it's just
it feels a bit meh.
You look at it feels a bit meh, that one. Perisic and Doc. What do you think about Perisic and Doc over getting a City defender in this week? And who would you get in if you were getting a City defender this week?
I would only bring. I don't know. I think say Stones.
It's Stones, isn't it? It's got to be.
It is, but again, I'm just trying to think. You think about at the back of this, we've got another City double coming up. So you got extra points there.
Yeah.
Do you think you're going to get a return from Perisic or Doherty? I'd probably prefer Matt over Ivan.
I think I would too. I've thought about this, and I like watching Ivan play at the moment more than I like watching Doherty play. Definitely, I feel like you've got just he's so unconventional, Doherty, isn't he? In terms of how he plays, he's a player who could have a 3 out of 10 stinker and still get 12 points in FPL.
Yeah.
Whereas you feel like Perisic will be like a 7 out of 10 game, but might get 1 point. And he is it's one of those interesting ones where we're Tottenham fans, but Doherty gets into weird positions to potentially score goals. We didn't start Spence against Portsmouth, so just don't even think about it. We're never going to play him against Arsenal and Man City if we didn't play him against Portsmouth. Royal got sent off last time we played Arsenal, and clearly there's a falling out there. Like Doherty is as nailed as possibly could be for this double.
Agreed.
And then potentially plays Fulham.
Yeah.
Straight after. Anthony Robertson's good, but still a very, very good fixture. I like him.
I think another thing that we haven't added in here is Kulu, because Kulu makes Doc better.
He does. I feel like Hill playing. God, we're straight into Spurs here. I feel like Hill playing better in these last couple. Really, I'd be really surprised if Hill doesn't start next weekend, and I think that's my worry with Kulusevski. But Kulusevski is so much better than Hill.
Yeah.
I know Hill's played well, so if he trains really well all week, then it'll just put him straight in. But I do think he'll be on limited minutes.
Yeah,
I do think he'll be on limited minutes. I think Hill's there for him. I think the good thing about when Brian Hill plays is that Doherty is the man. Like, he's still the boy. Like, so he's the one he's still the one that will take the bigger lead to it. He'll just say to Hill, you just go occupy some space out wide. I'm big enough, to get in there and get on the end of headers and stuff. So I feel like if Hill plays, like, Doherty's probably an even bigger goal threat. Now, Kulusevski plays, he's a better player. So yeah, I don't hate either of those two. I think if money is tightish for your moves you're going to make, Doherty is just such a much more obvious pick than Perisic, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we like Doherty over Perisic.
And I think we do actually like Doherty over City as well. Just because of Fulham.
I'm not 100% sure I can say that.
Because of Fulham. Look, okay, so let's look at the City players that people are talking about and you're talking about. You're talking about John Stones, you're talking about Ake, Akanji. We're talking about players that have basically no goal threat. So we're talking about 2-6 guys. City have kept 2 clean sheets in the last 6. Yes, they have a low XGC, but they are susceptible to being lazy, and they do, well, not lazy. Okay, that's probably the wrong word. They are susceptible to being unlucky. I think is probably the right word.
Well, I think it is a bit lazy. It's a bit lax. They do, like,
I suppose if a keeper
Everton to try and make good saves quite often, and I do think that there is. Yeah, I think the average XG per shot that City concede, well, we know it is higher than that. It's just whether they actually concede any shots or not. Now, Man United at home to Man City, I think Man United will get chances. I think Tottenham historically have scored against Man City.
Yes,
we've got a really good record recently against Man City, so I absolutely do. I think I like Stones slightly better than I like Doherty. I like Doherty better than I like Akanji and Ake.
Okay. Look, I don't mind. It sounds like between us we've got to a coin flip, in which case just pick the one you fancy.
I think what is interesting in this is I've got Cancelo.
Yeah.
So I think there's fear. It's really interesting you talking about this because there's fear in me that I say I went off Cancelo to Doherty. Cancelo plays both games and they keep both cleans because they're the best team in the league. Like, that worries me. I think that probably does blinker me slightly more towards Stones, whereas you've not got a defender there, and that's quite interesting to hear that you prefer Doherty to it. So that is interesting. It's a punt, isn't it?
It is a punt. I've comfortably moved away from that price point, as I mentioned to you earlier on Twitter. So I've almost forgotten it existed. And I don't feel any pressure to get back to it either.
Absolutely.
And
fully with you there.
And it's like the Van Dijk injuries even just compounded that, because there was potential to go to, if Liverpool's defence started looking half decent before we got all this chaos about the doubles, then, feasibly Trent could have been an option. And people were getting Trent curious. And,
Well, I'm not Trent curious, but I do look at these next 3-4 games and think, why would I bother putting myself in that position and tying up that money when you don't need to? You don't need to. And there's so many good midfielders. Like, don't forget Gakpo is coming as a midfielder. We could have an £8 million guy playing in the front three. See what Diaz did earlier in the season. Is Gakpo.
The man just shits returns. I know it's the Eredivisie, but still. Like, he had something like 20.
Took 3 minutes to have a shot, and he looked very composed on it. It wasn't the greatest game.
21.
I think he's
21 returns in 13 games.
Yeah, it was. Assist points. Blah blah blah. But we've got him. We've got Saka that we haven't got in our teams at the moment, and I think we most people want him.
Odegaard's the one.
There will be, one of these midfielders from Man City. Like, if Mahrez, this is the one thing about the, say, Doherty over Stones type thing. We've seen Mahrez, what it was like, came on, scores, was majestic again today. If he's majestic in 2 more games, as much as anyone says he's a trap, we'll all go there if he's like that for the next 2 games.
Mm.
The world will go there for him because he could do it for half a season. And if his minutes per points every single season is one of the top 3 or 4 players in the game.
Okay. No, I don't disagree. I mean, I know it's a fact.
The minutes per points are there.
Yeah, but if he gets 600 minutes between now and the end of the season, like.
But what I'm saying is, if he played 90 minutes in the next game, he played 90 minutes in the next game, he played 90 minutes in the next game.
Yeah.
The world will have him.
Yeah, you can do.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not saying you need to jump on Mahrez now, but I'm saying is that if Mahrez keeps playing and Mahrez just nails that position down, you can't stay away from him because he's too far behind everybody else that does go there.
He's ridiculously effective when he's on the pitch and when he turns up.
Yeah. Whether he gets those minutes is a completely different animal about it. But if he plays a double, plays 21, plays 22, then goes into another double, you'll be like, wow. And so maybe if you don't like the defence for Man City this game week, because Man United and Tottenham is not the greatest defensive one, maybe you do take a punt on Doc because you're not expecting cleans on anyone.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's part of my thing. It wasn't just the Cancelo thing. That was part of my thinking, was even before, obviously the United have obviously come in now, and then the Palace game looks like is a good opportunity for a clean. But the City Spurs one, I was never convinced on either team keeping a clean in either game. So that that's probably driven my thinking on that one. I see someone's put Rico Lewis in the chat. I mean, fine, 3.9, but you can't, if you want to get a third City player anywhere else, I mean, you just can't get away from him. Like, it's just you can't go to anyone of any meat or bone or whatever. Can't do it.
I don't want to limit the option to have free City attack. I don't want to limit the option to it because they're too good. And they've still got very good fixtures.
Yeah.
Very, very good fixtures. Triple on the attack. So, Mahrez, you haven't got double. Are you not tempted on Mahrez?
A little bit, but I do have to move some money to get Mahrez, and that would require me to take Darwin away. And there's still rumours of a Liverpool double in 21. There is
rumours of Liverpool double.
And there's also 26 as well, potentially. So, yeah, I've got, it's a bit awkward for me because I'm looking at, like, I haven't got Almiron either. So I was looking at, like, even bringing in Almiron this week. And fine, he's not doubling, but he's playing Fulham at home, right? So what are you going to do? He could double-digit return easily in that fixture comfortably.
His next four: Fulham home, Crystal Palace away, West Ham home, Bournemouth away.
Yeah, happy days.
Gonna score points.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Well, that's ironically the way that I'm thinking. I'm like, well, why don't I just get a third Newcastle defender? Because I'm going to get 6 instead of 4 from my defender. It's just like, yeah, I know, it sounds stupid, but Almiron possibility. Liverpool. Yeah, where was I? I'm just worried about getting caught with KDB and wanting Salah. But what I was hoping was that Gakpo might have done something yesterday and Gakpo might do something in the next game, because somebody who's used to putting the ball in the back of the net or supplying somebody to put the ball in the back of the net for Liverpool, 8 million, he's going to be there for as long as at least until Diaz is back. So, he could be in. It's a bit early to say he's going to cover Salah, but
yeah, I'm not 100% sure on the style of Gakpo to cover those two. The thing that I could see when I watch Gakpo is it looks like he wants the ball, like he wants the ball to his foot. He doesn't want to sprint onto it. He doesn't. It did look like he was more of a whole player, more of a I'll do something with it and I'll look for slide passes and do those type of things. And I'm like, that. I feel like he could end up playing number 10 quite a lot, and you end up with like a 4-3-1-2 sometimes. I'm not 100%. I feel like he could make Salah and Darwin better. I feel like Bobby, when he used to be in the hole with Mane and Salah, feel like Gakpo might want to go that way. He looks like he was really happy to take the ball in a half space, 25 yards from goal, take a touch, lay it off to one of the, to Robbo, for example, and it might make him better. It might make Darwin, but it might. I'm not 100% sure he's going to make himself better, and I think that's what kind of need to see it.
Yeah,
I just think he's a good footballer. I think there's no doubt of it. But it's like, if you're not going to be the best person in that team, then we don't want you. We want the others.
Yeah.
Okay. So
let's go back.
Going back to hits. Take your hits. If I think if you haven't got 6 players in this doubles, I'd take enough hits to get to 6. Because I just don't think you lose from it. 5 would be a minimum, I think, for me.
I'd be surprised if people aren't on 4 already. Just full stop. I would be surprised if nobody's on 4.
Yeah, fair.
Even 4 plus, even 4. Well, maybe I suppose it'd be 3 plus Cancelo, because, maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of people have got Cancelo, Haaland, Shaw, and Rashford. I would be looking to get to, maybe 6 is a bit much, but 5 is probably the bare minimum I think I'd want to get into in this one. So that probably takes us to triple captaincy conversations.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about it? Now, should we caveat that we're Tottenham supporters?
Oh, what? Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah, we can always do that. I think people should know. Although if people are listening for the first time, we're Tottenham supporters. So there you go. Now that I've announced it, yes. Carry on.
Do you think Tottenham has any impact on your decision making for game week 20 triple captaincy?
Maybe.
Smiling.
Maybe. Yes, probably does. It probably does. I think there's an element of. Yeah, I think it does. Yeah, I think it does. I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
I triple capped Salah against Tottenham in game week 28, and I absolutely hated the decision, and it didn't really work out either. So
I can't even remember when I used. Oh yeah, no, I triple capted Trent 26. In 26. Yeah, I did. Yeah, Trent.
Yeah. So going against it, what are we doing here?
Oh, did I do that the wrong way around? Oh, that's bad, isn't it? I went the wrong way around.
You triple captain Kane?
Could you?
No.
So, no. just no. You're not going to expand on that. Just no.
So I'd give the argument why not is that a week ago, me and you met up, went to watch Villa, and you left with 20 minutes to go. I've never seen you look so angry in my life.
And that's the first time I've ever left a game of football early. Genuinely, as well. I was
I can see Daz Sparky in the chat. Me and Daz stayed.
Yeah.
And you left.
I was pretty angry. Yeah. A few beers down as well, but yeah, I was angry. But it's little things. So I see little things come up, and I'm just like, oh, that might tempt me here, tempt me there. He scored 26 points against these two teams last season in these fixtures.
Mm-hmm. We were a better team.
I think we
were a much better team last season than we are this season.
Same players though.
Right. Like
horse racing.
Right, horse racing. When there's a horse and it wins, right, what matters is what happens to the horse that was second the next time they run. If the horse that was second next time it runs is like 7th.
Are you saying that he's been handicapped? He's been like, they've added weight to him?
I'm saying Crystal Palace might be a handicap right now. Because
fair enough.
They're absolutely dog shit.
Yeah, true.
So I watched this weekend after watching us, score 4 against Palace, and then I'm like, they are so bad.
So someone said it in the chat. So why not Rashford? They've got Palace. You're saying so? I guess you're saying he's probably a better. You're just saying triple captain Haaland, aren't you? But
I'm probably just saying triple captain Haaland. Yeah, I probably am just saying.
So
are we not so thinking it? Just go back to that previous slide you had about double game weeks, about the double game week players and the ownership.
Yeah.
For each of the players.
Yeah.
Because you've put some extra tables in there, haven't you, as well? Just what's the second table there?
Oh,
Second
what? So you've got
column?
the XGI and
XGI, yeah.
and the returns.
How much XGI has Haaland had in the last 6 games?
Yeah, 6.
6.15.
Yeah, 6.15.
I don't think they counted the chance from KDB the other night. I think he just missed it, which also would have been by 0.8. Rashford's had how much?
I can't even see
3.03.
Oh, he's right below him, yeah. Ownership.
Kane's had how much?
2.55.
So Kane and Rashford, who have been absolutely brilliant and had 10 attacking returns in the last 6 games between them, have not had the expected game goal involvement between them that Haaland's had.
Correct.
And there's a big enough break and they're big enough games and they've got to catch Arsenal. They can't afford to rest him.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely no chance that I think that Haaland or De Bruyne miss a minute. And if they do miss a minute, it's because it's been a really, really good game for them. I don't see a way that you go into this double game week without KDB. And captaincy as a minimum on Haaland. Like it's just a question of how much you want to sit behind the sofa.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fair.
And if you're in a really good position.
But what if I just captain Haaland and then triple captain like a 0.1% owned guy in like 10 weeks time?
Oh, Andy.
Sorry.
No, Andy. If anyone's wondering that, though, because not everyone's on Twitter, and he's got about 50,000 followers, Andy Martin, but thinking that captaining a differential later in the season, therefore you get more effective points is the way. Well, no, it's not. Like points are points. Just
get the points.
Points are points. You've got the.
I think there might be better opportunities later down the line to triple captain Haaland. I think my triple captain chip will go on Haaland, but it won't. I don't think it will be this week.
So have we got Ben's tweet?
Yes.
Should we? Let's go look at that.
Yes,
you can.
You want me to read? Okay, so so Ben tweeted out a couple of tweets earlier on, and talking about possible future double game weeks for City. So in 29 they might have Liverpool and then Bournemouth or West Ham. In 34 they might have Fulham and then Bournemouth, West Ham or Brighton. And then in 37 they might have Chelsea at home and then Bournemouth, West Ham or Brighton. So there's a few caveats there that Bournemouth versus City is postponed if City reach the League Cup final. City versus West Ham is postponed if either club reach the FA Cup quarters. And Brighton versus City is postponed if either club reach the semis of the FA Cup. So if you look at that schedule around... the next tweet is the schedule from March until... the March international break until game week 38. So... they could have a couple of games in 29, then they'll play Southampton in 30, Champions League, then Leicester, then Champions League. Then they'll have a blank in 32, which I would assume is cup game of some kind.
Yeah.
And then semis, maybe. And then Arsenal in 33, and then then this double game week that looks great. The only risk, I guess, is rotation at this point. Is the Fulham, then Bournemouth, West Ham, Brighton, and then Leeds. Yeah, but look, what if Haaland's at the point where he's at like 30 goals? No, genuinely, what if he's at like 30 goals at that point? Like, is Pep's going to go, oh, sorry, Alan, I'm going to rest you. He's like, look, I'm like 5 goals away from like the most goals ever in a Premier League season. You're going to rest me? What the fuck are you doing?
I think there's also the question of, is playing just one of Fulham or Bournemouth better than playing, like as a minimum, he's going to play one of them, isn't he?
Yeah. Fulham, Bournemouth away, West Ham at home, like Brighton stuff. But
and if, say, for example, somehow he was injured, you could have KDB as the triple captain in 34 in those games. Could have Mahrez as your triple captain in 34.
Don't Mahrez. Don't go. Don't try and say Mahrez.
There is something about a midfielder as triple captain that's much, much more fun than a striker as triple captain.
Just because you get an extra point.
Yeah, you've only got to get the return in one game and you feel like you've already won.
No, Andy.
I guess when I look at this, what I do look at is think, you've actually got potentially 4 more double game weeks with Haaland.
Yeah, 23, 29, 34, 37.
So why would you go against?
Why would you go against Tottenham and United?
Yeah. Why would you go against Tottenham and United if you've got 4 more double game weeks potentially? And it's
then
just
and it will include a Bournemouth. It will definitely could include a Bournemouth, Fulham, West Ham, like
because you can spin the
Chelsea are
narrative to
crap and
work however you want.
Liverpool's defense is crap.
If you look at that 29 double, for example, Liverpool at home is going to play, and Liverpool's defense is
bad.
It's worse than Man United and Tottenham's. Definitely. Then Bournemouth or West Ham he gets in the next one. So do you think he misses that game, or do you think he misses the Southampton game before the Champions League quarterfinal?
Yeah. He plays in 29 both games.
I think he plays 29 both games.
Yeah. And then again in 34, same deal. Same deal. He's got Leeds at home. To be fair, he probably wants to play Leeds at home, doesn't he? I don't know.
He probably does want to play Leeds at home. Yeah.
But yeah, again, so yeah,
he could easily play both of those.
He could play all those games, and like he's only playing. Like he was rested today. He will come out in the quarterfinals, maybe the FA Cup if he's need. Well, he'd probably be needed against Arsenal actually in the 4th round, won't he? But he's going to play nowhere near as many games as a lot of people as well.
I am swaying. I think this is a very good argument.
I know he's had injuries, but like he's like 22 years old, isn't he?
And he just blanked. We can just go back. He just blanked.
Yeah, just blanked. So yeah,
and he didn't score against Chelsea today.
Well, it helps if you're on the pitch. Did he come on?
Nah.
No, didn't think so. So I think there's plenty of opportunity later down the line.
Yeah.
So
it's a really interesting one because I also think that how well set up. I think beforehand it was just do I triple captain Haaland or not? And I think now, after today's announcement, there are other noises that will play into them. So if you haven't got Shaw, if you haven't got Kane, for example, like I think those noises will almost push you to triple captain a little bit. I can see people triple captain and not getting a green because they haven't got enough of the other ones. I can see the other way around is we could be in a position here where me and you have 7 doublers, maybe you might have 8, and get a red. But maybe that's okay.
I don't mind. I take a small red against. I mean,
absolutely.
If he steps up and gets like 25 points, then again, yeah, it's only going to be 12 points.
Yeah. Don't underestimate as well how many people like. As much as there's loads of people that get scared, there's as many people that love having it in hand. It's like, the late wild carders every time. They're like, oh, I've still got my wild card. And you're like, all right, mate. And it'll be the same in this world where it'll be like, oh, I've still got my triple captaincy. But not everyone gets it right when they hold of it. Some people do. Some people get 90 points from KDB. Won't mention names. But some people get away with doing that because everything comes well for them. And some people just want that mental stability of saying that I'm going with it when everyone else does it. I don't want to not watch those games.
Yeah. And I think that's a sensible thing. If that's something that's going to concern you, then this is the week to play it because he will be over 200% owned. I mean, let's be honest. There's going to be 4 weeks he's going to be 200% owned. Like, don't think for a second he won't be over 200% owned in any of these other game weeks coming up as well.
Yeah,
because he will.
Rhino's in the chat makes a really good point, which is that don't forget the chips because that's the deal. Like on these ones is that. What is you're not considering other chips in 20.
Yeah.
But you might be considering other chips. In fact, probably almost certainly will be consider, we've still got to play a free hit. We've still got to play a bench boost. 34, 37. They could easily be because we just said that 28, probably now isn't free hit territory. we're looking more at these doubles. So it's either the blank game week 32, wherever it is, or potentially it's one of the doubles, 34, 37 for bench boost and that. So look, the clever fixture boys will probably come out this week and give us a bit more information that will help us. And we might have more doubles in the next, few days announced. We could have doubles in 21. We could have doubles in 22. I think everyone needs to be a bit wary about just taking Darwin out, just taking Salah out.
Yeah. So these are the fixtures that this is the fixture probabilities which were prior to today's FA Cup games from Mikel Tokvam. And as he said, it's benchmarked based on Ben Crellin's statements. So at the time, the game week 21s were a little bit different. We know those now. And some of the 28 ones we know now as well. So, but there is opportunity for Everton and Arsenal still to potentially double in 21, as same with Liverpool. I don't know whether the Palace one now disappears a little bit. Does it come down a bit? We're not going to go double while we're sitting on Zaha, are we?
We could do.
Shit.
We genuinely could do. The Arsenal Everton one is a bit weird, is that I follow a digital TV spy forum thing, which I believe all of the fixtures guys use. But they talked a lot about if Arsenal draw in or go out, I think, if Arsenal go out, to Oxford on Monday night, then that game against Everton could be played on the 4th round weekend. Seems odd that would be a 60% chance of doubling. Like, there's not a 60% chance that Arsenal go out to Oxford.
Yeah, no.
So I don't really understand how that one potentially is a double. Yeah. But yeah, we could easily get Brighton Palace again. Double.
Oh, I've already got a Brighton player, so that's good.
You have? That would be mad. Right, we better do some questions.
Let's do some questions. So we asked the guys in the Discord earlier on to throw some questions. We've taken 3 out of there, so we'll just cover those. I think we covered the one that you picked out earlier about hits, right?
Rich Clark asked us about, is it hit season? We had a season last time where double game week started rolling in, and I think people should probably remember that when double game weeks came in, we all took a lot of hits, and it was okay. We all went forward, because we were on it. We were amongst it. We had as many people as you can possibly have. It's a good position to be in.
Yeah.
Chase the horse. I think a lot of us remember the bad.
Yeah.
But there's many good ones in that.
Yeah. So I just keep remembering. I just remember Ross's -20, FPL Raptors -20 in 26 last year. It's just nuts. Scored 140 points, just paid off in spades. While I was sitting there with like 90 points, getting a 200% red arrow.
There's some really good teams in. Yeah. By the way, while we're just here, we're in the QA. We've got 298 people currently watching us,
which is the most we've ever had.
Oh,
so that is clearly the most. 296 now. Who disappeared then? Bastards.
But if you're here, if you enjoyed it, it's the first time. We have at least half our viewers not subscribed that watch these things. Subscribe, do the business.
Yes.
Very much appreciated.
Cheers.
Anyway.
Questions.
Discord.
So shout out to our newest patron, FPL California, who joined us in the last couple of weeks. So shout out to him. No question from him today, because you might not have seen the message yet. But Cy Walker has asked, Cancelo discuss money better spent elsewhere. So I think we covered that in the discussion about the City defence. Is there anything to expand on that?
Taking him out is still scary.
He's still, and this is, what did I say? Top 100k, didn't I? So still 62% owned this week in the top 100k.
62% owned.
Which is a lot. So if he plays, he cleans, he returns, then it's painful.
It'll take just a small mention of Rico and Kyle Walker and the like, and Ake in his words yesterday about Ake, about how he's performing above expectations on expectations at left back. You're like, this is not good. Yeah. I fully expect it'll be, even in that first game, I think he'll go Lewis and Ake.
Okay.
And then against Tottenham, what have we been calling Tottenham all season?
Second half
Second
Spurs.
half Tottenham. And also the other rest.
Set piece Spurs.
They have not got many big guys.
Yeah.
They have not got many big guys. And so, Kane heads out a lot of defensive headers. Haaland's not headed many out. He might be about, but he doesn't head many corners out. I suspect it wouldn't surprise me against Tottenham if he did a back four of Ake, Laporte, Akanji, Stones. Would not surprise me one bit. I think the only place Cancelo's got to play is right back at the moment, and then it's a problem.
Fair enough. So Steve Wilco, he asks, who would be the ideal enabler on a -4?
And that won't get better when they play Arsenal with a double either. Second?
Must have skipped there for 1 second. Steve Wilco asks, who would be the ideal enabler on a -4 with Kane in any position? That most of us will need to take a -4 to get Kane. And going on the theory that the team is very template. Cancelo replacement, we've done that. Can we trust Pep City defence roulette? We've done that. Is there any Tony news? Well, there's no Tony news, I don't think.
Who cares?
We
just can't go there.
Ideal enabler on a -4 to get Kane?
It's got to be Cancelo, isn't it?
Cancelo to Doherty?
Cancelo to anyone that else is doubling. Because there's still quite a lot of people that haven't got Shaw.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, if you've got Cancelo and not got Shaw, I'd probably go Cancelo to Shaw and use the money. I am nervous about getting rid of Darwin. I'm really nervous about it. But I think eventually, if you get Kane, like you're sitting at the moment with, like, what is it, 40 million
up front?
Yeah, is it up front?
32.
It's not going to stay there. It's not going to stay there forever.
No, it's going to need to filter back into the midfield
at some point. So it's a difficult game. But Cancelo feels the easy one.
And then so Jonathan Daddybot, he asks a low price defender to fund Darwin to Kane, less than 5 million. He's got 2 free transfers. And he's dropping James. So
you've got Doc, you've got Dallo.
If you haven't got Shaw already,
Ake. I don't hate Ake as a pick, full stop.
Okay. I think that's it from the doubles, though, isn't it?
It'll be Doc or Shaw or Dallo for me.
And if you've got all of those, just get Botman.
Exactly.
Because you want Botman for weeks. Weeks and weeks.
Bueno's going to get 12 points this week. Sitting on our bench.
Sitting on everyone's bench.
People don't take hits to get a defender in. And 4.0 or 3.9, where he is, Bueno's going to get an assist and 3-pointers in a home clean sheet against West Ham, who don't score any goals.
It's not ideal, is it?
I was quite happy playing Bueno this week. Overshaw. I'm going to play Bueno or Overshaw before the double came out.
Yeah, I suppose you could have done. Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. So, questions from the chat. So, what have we got? Let's scroll up a little bit, see what we've got.
FPL Penguin, is that it for all the doubles in Gameweek 20? Got 7 double Gameweek players at the moment. That's a flex.
Yeah. Yeah, we've only got 6.
I'll ask a question based on something else. Would you hit out? A lot of people brought in Cucurella for they've got home Palace, who are terrible. Would you hit out Cucurella?
You dropped out for a second there. Cucurella for who?
Anyone. Would you hit him out?
Okay.
If you had Cucurella in your team, I would definitely hit Cucurella out because I don't think he's nailed. So
and Chelsea defense still looks pants anyway. So
can we go through this without mentioning Son? Because I've seen a few times people have said Son ? Son ?
Yeah,
Salah to Son.
You know, I wish there were more. I mean, I don't think the one goal is a sign of things are changing. I still think while it sounds cosmetic, but still while that mask is on, it's still causing a problem psychologically for him. There's the conversation still about Perisic's impact on Son. Maybe if we see Kane dropping deep more, the Son may become more effective, which is something that you pointed out on Twitter a few days ago. That if that's the case, if we start to see more of that, then he could become an option. are these the right kind of games for Son? I mean, to be fair though, these are the fixtures that Son could come in and he could score 3 goals in the 2 games.
If
But
Kane drops deep,
I wouldn't worry about
Kulusevski
it.
plays on the right, and Kane plays in either Son directly or plays to Kulusevski, who then plays it to Son, these could be absolutely magnificent games for Son. But why on earth would that be what you want to muck about with when there's so many other things that you can do with the really good options that we've already talked about today?
Yeah, agreed. Agreed.
You know, would you like? I'm joking about the trial a little bit. I'm not completely joking against Mahrez because I think if you haven't got it, I definitely would. But if you had to offer me the option of Mahrez or Son this week, it's not even close.
Fair enough.
Not even close. If they were the same price, not even close for me.
There's a question saying play Botman or -4 to play Doherty or Man City defense. Just play Botman.
Play Botman.
Just play Botman against Fulham. Like they just
100%.
don't concede goals. So
yeah.
I already have Kane. Should I go Cancelo to Shaw for a -4? I guess. I don't like that.
I don't like
that because I don't see cleans. This is the thing again. I don't see cleans from those fixtures. City United, City Tottenham Arsenal. I don't see a clean sheet.
Only reason I say you take Cancelo out this week is if it funds something for those other players in attack that you want.
Yeah. Someone's asked Casemiro or Martial.
Move on. This is an interesting question.
Sorry,
would you
Andrew,
hold Salah if you had KDB and no Kane? So if you are the person, because there are people, aren't there, that've got KDB and
yeah, you're just cutting out, mate. I didn't catch the last 10 seconds. There are some people that have KDB and Salah.
Yeah. So would you cut out?
How would you get there?
I think we might be.
How would you get there?
Well, no. If you've already got KDB and Salah,
yeah, but you're saying would you just switch like Salah?
Would you get rid of Salah? Would you just keep Salah through to 21? I think I'd just keep Salah.
You'd kind of hope we get some information. If you don't get any information on 21, I wouldn't be against moving him on because that Brighton game's not going to be easy. That Brighton game is not going to be easy. So
no, it's not.
And you could just go Almiron / Arsenal mid, whoever plus Kane, and that feels a lot bigger over 1 week. And we're taking hits. We're taking hits for doubles
in 21.
Didn't actually look at what his ownership was in 19.
I reckon he's going to be about 15-20% owned.
Going to be. It could imagine that.
And it's going to stay that way for a little while because of people move to Kane. It's not hard to get. And then if people go to KDB, you're not going to come off and go back for 23. And
we said this last week that that's the kind of moves that you'd want to do, isn't it? But
it's big.
Yeah, it's brave. Yeah. Okay. So, do you want to pick one more question?
Is it worth a -4 for sure instead of Walker or Cucurella? I think we've said that, and I think yes. I don't like either of those two. I think they're just really, really. And if it was one, Cucurella would be the one that go.
Yeah. Okay. One more here from me. So Alex Meacher asks: Martial and Cancelo to Kane and Botman, or Darwin and Cancelo, Kane and Stones.
I like the second one.
I like them both actually. To be honest, they're quite nice. I like those moves. I have considered bringing Martial in this week, although I think looking at those ownerships now, I'm not so. Don't feel like I'm going to rush to it.
It's just a double, mate. It's just
because there's nothing out the back of it. If there was something out the back of it for United, I'd be fine tripling up. But I didn't triple up on United for those 3 fixtures because I did want to get away at some point, or at least bring it down. So yeah, I'm fine carrying 2 through the double, through the Liverpool game they've got as well. Is it Arsenal game, Liverpool or Arsenal, and then they've got a nice run of fixtures. They've got Liverpool or Arsenal a little later on.
One last one: Kepa or Ward? Kepa, home to Palace.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Even with Zaha on our teams, home to Palace.
Yeah. Yes.
Let's hope we get some points out. I'll be, at least.
Keep cutting out, man.
If Zaha misses a penalty, hopefully we get some Kepa. So
yes, exactly. Exactly.
You know, he's like, Zaha's going to miss a penalty against Chelsea by hitting the post.
Oh God!
No,
can you imagine that? I mean, to be fair, until the game earlier, I was looking at until we found out there was a double, I was very much looking at Rodrigo in for Zaha, and then he missed that penalty. Yeah. I still got my eye on Rodrigo. As a Zaha exit.
We've got a little soft spot for Rodrigo. Yeah. We'll get him at some point.
Cool. We'll talk about that more next week. But to everyone that's joined us in the chat, thank you very much. Difficult one this week for us. A few technical issues, but we've persevered through. We've got through, and really appreciate everyone being here.
Yeah.
So
cheers.
Hopefully you've had a good game week 19 so far. Obviously, one game to go. Unlucky to anyone who has Mitrovic or Sterling. But are we cheering on Andreas against Kepa? So looking forward to that. And hope you enjoyed the FA Cup games this weekend. And we'll speak to you all soon.
Yes, for those, if we've got any new people, next Sunday we'll be back and our normal show will be reviewing the games as they happen. So this one's a bit odd because it's FA Cup. But
yes,
come join us next week.
Sounds good. Speak to you later, mate.
See you later.
Cheers.